like you say, across the board. But for Best Picture, usually you have a sense of who might pinch that.
If you think back to last year, it was Oppenheimer. It clearly, from sort of day one, it felt like it was going to be Oppenheimer that cleaned up at all the award ceremonies, and it absolutely did. In terms of nominations at the BAFTAs, of course, it was Conclave, this sort of gossipy story of priests selecting the next selecting the next pope. It feels like perhaps they'll lean a bit more towards sort of the American stars, like the Brutalist, Emilia Perez, the films that are more sort of American talent in them.
Yeah, I think so. And I think we'll see Wicked turning up quite a few times, which is interesting because it's kind of a big popcorn movie. But like Barbie last year, it does show that you can sort of be a big success at the box office and with fans, but also kind of break into the Academy Awards now, whereas actually there used to be a slight kind of distance between those two things.
Oh, we've got a minute to go until we cross live to Los Angeles. But what's been quite interesting to see is the comeback queens. So, I mean, Pamela Anderson, Demi Moore, to an extent, Angelina Jolie, I suppose. What do you make of that?
We're going to see whether or not it's the sort of similar names coming up again. And Pamela Anderson didn't make it in the BAFTA shortlist, did she? So it's going to be interesting to see whether she makes it. I mean, the Academy more American voters, so you would think she probably would be a favourite with them. Cynthia Erivo could be up for Wicked, of course, in the Best Actress race, so she'd be a good British talent to be named.
And, of course, all of this was delayed because of those wildfires in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so it was postponed twice to give people, because a lot of those people affected would have been Academy members, and to give people more time to actually watch these movies and then vote. And while the Oscars itself isn't going to be postponed as it stands, they've said they'll kind of honour what's happened to LA.
And on that note, then, what can we expect on the red carpet? Do you think it'll be a muted affair? Well, actually, forget that. Let's go to the ceremony now, live.
Janet Yang and Bill Kramer.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the 97th Oscars nominations announcement. On behalf of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, I want to welcome you and extend our deepest sympathies to everyone impacted by the fires here in Southern California.
This has certainly been a difficult time for Los Angeles, where many members of our film community, industry work and live. But the last several weeks have proven what we already know to be true. Our film industry and Los Angeles are resilient. And for almost a century, the Oscars have brought us together to unite and celebrate our global film community.
During this year's ceremony, we will honor the talented filmmakers nominated today, pay tribute to our brave first responders, and celebrate the enduring spirit of Los Angeles and the film industry.
And now, without further delay, to announce this year's Academy Award nominees, please welcome Rachel Sennett and Bowen Yang.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. What an honor it is to be with you today.
Me and Bowen are wide awake. We have been up since 10 p.m. and between us, we've had 3 Diet Cokes, an entire pack of cigarettes, and 1 Adderall.
And you get to guess who had what. Don't worry, everyone. Rachel and I have been through extensive pronunciation training for all the names today. Let me try now. Wicked.
Amazing, Bowen. That was really good. Well, let's not keep the people waiting any longer. Let's go.
Are we ready for some nominees?
Let's go.
First, for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, Yura Borisov in Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice.
Next, the nominees for Achievement in Costume Design. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
The nominees for Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked.
Next up, the nominees for Achievement in Music, Original Score. The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Now this year's nominees for Best Live Action Short Film. Alien, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Would Not Remain Silent.
Many such cases.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay, for Best Animated Short Film, the nominees are Beautiful Men.
Where?
Okay. In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck by Charlie XCX.
Wonderful. And now we have the first of the 2 award categories honoring writing. First, for adapted screenplay, the nominees are A Complete Unknown, a screenplay by James Mangold and Jay Cox. Conclave, screenplay by Peter Strawn. Emilia Perez, screenplay by Jacques Audiard, in collaboration with Thomas Bideguin, Leah Messius, and Nicolas Levesque. Thank you. Nickel Boys, screenplay by Ramel Ross and Jocelyn Barnes. And Sing Sing, screenplay by Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, story by Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, Clarence Macklin, John Devine G. Whitfield.
And for original screenplay, the nominees are Honora, written by Sean Baker. The Brutalist, written by Brady Corbet, Mona Fastful. A Real Pain, written by Jesse Eisenberg. September 5, written by Moritz Binder, Tim Fellbaum, co-written by Alex David. And The Substance, written by Coralie Farjat.
And last, before our break, the nominees for performance by an actress in a supporting role. Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande in Wicked. Felicity Jones, The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. And Zoe Saldana in Emilia Perez.
Okay, wow, what a start. Congratulations to these Oscar nominees.
And hey, stick with us.
Stick with us.
We'll be right back with more nominations. Yes!
Okay, more nominations to come. While they take a break, we're going to digest what we've seen so far. Katie Spencer, Claire Gregory. So no shortage of acting talent there on Best Supporting Actor, if we just zoom in on that category for a moment.
Yeah, they're
your thoughts?
delirious, the presenters, aren't they? I'm quite liking the vibe at 5 in the morning. The Best Supporting, I think, safe to say there are a lot of those names that we thought were going to come up already. Kieran Culkin, he's already won at the Globes, he's nominated again for the BAFTAs for A Real Pain. It's the sort of road trip story about them going to sort of see Holocaust memorials. It is a brilliant film, it's a brilliant performance by him. And I think people have just enjoyed so far for the Globes and other ceremonies been nominated. He's someone that's a really fun winner if he wins, so he gives good speeches.
Stage. Plus, I think, you know, it's helped by the love in the industry also for Succession, and then that's kind of interesting that Jeremy Strong is also there. He's apprentice, but sort of little Succession kind of re-team there in the supporting actor nominations.
Guy Pearce is absolutely brilliant in The Brutalist as well, so it isn't really a shock that he's up for that. Felicity Jones also nominated for Best Supporting Actress, a British talent getting a name there. That's the only Brit we've got so far on the list, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
Wicked's coming up a lot already, isn't it?
Yeah, that's clear that it will pick up potentially quite a few awards there.
I think it's never, well, one would suspect it wouldn't win any of the sort of main big sort of Best Picture prizes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the one to be talking about in terms of the makeup, the hair, the set design, because it is huge.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed so far is quite a few nominations for horror. So The Substance, which is a kind of body horror, very kind of gross, gory, that's already picked up a couple, including a screenplay nomination. And then Nosferatu, another horror. So it's interesting to kind of see those sneaking in. It used to be that the Academy was maybe a little bit snobby about horrors, didn't see them as sort of Oscars films, but to kind of this strong showing already in the nominations.
Yeah, great presence
Wild
there.
Robot, one you've actually seen, is nominated
I was just
for
going to
music,
say,
original
this is
song.
I mean, we were talking about this in the break, about how it was an unassuming animation. And if you went into that and you sat down, by the end of it, you were sobbing so much there was snot running down your face.
All about a baby duckling, and you wouldn't think that it would be that emotive, but
Coming
it's
of age
wonderful
film.
animation. The music in that as well is just, it definitely does deserve to be nominated within the music categories, because it is just such a wonderful orchestral arrangement to that animation.
It's stunning, stunning. Ladies, what can we expect when we go back then? What will we be looking out for?
The big ones, won't we be?
Yeah. We'll really get a shape of who's leading the nominations at that point, because, as Katie was saying, perhaps we'd expect Wicked to turn up in, makeup and costume and things, but it might not have such chances in other things. So while it's kind of looking strong right now, perhaps it won't do by the end of the nominations. And then, let's face it, it's those ones that people are really interested in: lead actor, lead actress, best picture, best director.
Which we would anticipate being towards the end of the announcement, wouldn't we? You save your best for last. But, should we make any bets? What do we think? The Brutalist probably is going to come away with the most.
I feel Emilia Perez is looking good, looking pretty strong.
Because you've got
Conclave
two
at the moment
pop stars in the mix of Oscars, with Selena Gomez, and Emilia Perez, and Ariana Grande.
But it's interesting. One of the things that the head of the Academy said a couple of days ago was that actually they're going to be shifting away from live performances towards celebrating songwriters. So they're going to have all of these singers there, but are they not going to actually have any musical performances?
Surely that's just a waste.
I know, if you've got Ariana in the audience.
Well, let's go back and hear from the rest of those nominations. Over to LA.
And we're back live. Before we continue, I just want to say it's really special to be here with Rachel.
Oh,
we both got our
Bowen.
start in the New York alt comedy scene.
Yeah, we go way back. For those of you who don't know, the alt comedy scene is sort of like regular comedy, but for women and gay people. And I just want to say, it makes so much sense that Bowen and I are like doing this now at this moment in our careers. Bowen is such a huge star on SNL. He's in the hit movie Wicked.
Oh, thanks. And Rachel is Fatima.
Thanks so much. Let's keep going. So anyways, the nominees for Achievement in Music, Original Song are Amal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from the 688, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. Woo!
Smashed it. You smashed it, as the Brits say. And now, the nominees for Best Documentary Feature Film.
Okay.
Black Box Diaries. No Other Land. Porcelain War. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. And Sugarcane.
Next, for Best Documentary Short Film, the nominees are Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Those are some sad titles. Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Yeah. For Best International Feature Film, the nominees are I'm Still Here, Brazil. The Girl with the Needle, Denmark. Nothing for Denmark. Emilia Perez, France. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Germany. And Flow, Latvia.
And for Best Animated Feature Film, here are the nominees. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Production Design. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
Next up, for Achievement in Film Editing, the nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked.
And for Achievement in Sound, here are the nominees. A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
Next, the nominees for Achievement in Visual Effects. Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked.
A lot of monkeys in those films, I just realized. For Achievement in Cinematography, the nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu.
For performance by an actor in a leading role, the nominees are Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Woo! Woo! For performance by an actress in a leading role, the nominees are Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon in Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison in Anora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here.
For Achievement in Directing, the nominees are Sean Baker, Anora, Brady Corbet, The Brutalist, James Mangold, A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard, Emilia Perez, and Coralie Farjat, The Substance.
Woo! Okay, y'all, for our final category.
Our final category, I cannot wait. I feel like we should read them together.
I feel like we should.
Okay, here are the 10 nominees for Best Motion Picture of the Year.
Here they are.
Here we go.
Anora, Alex Coco, Samantha Kwan, and Sean Baker, producers.
Boom. The Brutalist, nominees to be determined.
A Complete Unknown, Fred Berger, James Mangold, and Alex Heineman, producers.
Conclave, Tessa Ross, Juliette Howell, and Michael A. Jackman, producers.
Dune, Part 2, Mary Parent, Cale Boyder, Tanya Lapointe, and Denis Villeneuve, producers.
Emilia Perez, nominees to be determined, producers.
I'm Still Here, nominees to be determined.
Guys, paperwork, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Nickel Boys, nominees to be determined.
PGA. The Substance, nominees to be determined.
Wicked, Mark Platt, producer.
Woo!
There it is, you guys.
There it is, y'all. Congratulations to all of this year's nominees. It's been such a privilege to share the news with you and movie fans around the world.
We are rooting for you all in equal amounts.
Yes. Watch the Oscars live, hosted by Conan O'Brien on Sunday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern.
So there we have it, ladies. Should we work backwards then? Because we just had Best Picture there. Thoughts?
The reason they say nominees to be determined is because whoever is named on that form gets to go up on stage and collect the award. So they haven't decided yet who, and usually with films that are sort of more indie films, you can get a million people credited as producers and executive producers. But if your name's up there, you get to go and collect the Oscar. So yeah, they'll be fighting that out behind the scenes. But it was, a lot of the, I think perhaps, should we do with ones that are a surprise? I'm Still Here being nominated. Now, I'm Still Here has got nomination not only for Best Picture, but also for Best Actress for Fernanda Torres.
And I think we knew she would likely turn up there because she did win the Golden Globe for Best Actress for that film. But I think it will be a surprise to many people, including me, that I'm Still Here. It is also in Best Picture.
It's a Brazilian film all about the military rule in the 70s. She is incredible in it, a brilliant role for her and sort of tracking down her husband. And it's a surprise in there, really, because there's been so many good films. But again, I think if we're assessing the overall picture here, are we any wiser with who's going to win?
Not really.
I think I was tallying it up as we go, so apologies if I did miss any, but it does look like Emilia Perez did come out on top with 12, which does also make it the most nominated non-English language film in history, in Oscars history. So
it's in Spanish, it has a French director, it's a trans gangster film, which is sort of a crime caper and a musical at the same time. It's a really hard one to...
Oh, it's impossible to kind of box it into a genre. It's kind of all kinds of different things. But it seems to have led ahead. But then also another musical, Wicked, has done really well. 10 nominations by my count, which is equaling The Brutalist, which also, by my count, like I say, has 10. So
great for us Brits because Cynthia Erivo is nominated for Best Actress for that as well. Up against Demi Moore, as we were saying, though, is this going to be Demi Moore's year, do we think? Angelina Jolie missed out on the Best Actress nomination there. Do we think, is there anyone that we sort of missed out as well?
What about A Complete Unknown? I mean, that's popped up in a few.
Nominations there for Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor. I think it really is sort of due to be a two-horse race, really, between him and Adrian Brody. For that film, he obviously plays Bob Dylan. He spent 5 years learning how to play like Bob Dylan on the guitar, the harmonica, mastering the sort of sound that he has, the swagger in his walk.
And I have to say, I think in the directing category, with James Mangold turning up again, that was for A Complete Unknown. James Mangold's a very kind of beloved director in Hollywood, and but I don't think he's been turning up in lots of the awards lists this year, so I think that will come as a little surprise again to some. But it does show there is a lot of love for that movie. So
Well, the other one that I really loved was animated feature, because we had Wallace and Gromit in there too.
A Christmas Day BBC film that showed in this country. I think that all the Academy voters had access to it a bit earlier than most of the public over here would have seen it. But yeah, look, Wallace and Gromit are going to be representing us Brits over there on the red carpet. The return of Wallace and Gromit, I mean, it's a beloved cartoon and animation in this country, isn't it? I think everyone was pleased that certainly it was back for our benefits, but it does show it's got a global audience as well.
It's amazing. Also in there, Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robots.
Yeah, it's a strong competition in the animated feature. It'll be interesting to kind of see which way the Academy voters go for that one, if they go for the kind of really emotional emotive themes or just a bit of a caper with Wallace and Gromit.
Well, you were furiously highlighting, Katie. Anything else that caught your eye? Best documentary?
Oh, best documentary. Well, the thing that upset us, we were really rooting in the international category for Northern Ireland's entry of Kneecap, and they didn't make it. They were not on the shortlist. So sadly, we're not going to see the boys from Kneecap, the rappers, going over there. Documentary. Who did we get for the Black Box Diaries? No Other Land. These are all ones that I think now us critics will be furiously going out there trying to see. I think Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice is quite an interesting one, isn't it? Playing Donald Trump there.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting to see if...
Because, you know, the Academy Awards usually very left-leaning, really, and whether, you know, events that we're seeing in America are
Donald Trump
paying
has been known
homage.
to tweet during these award ceremonies, so I wonder if he'll be furiously composing something now as his reaction to that nomination. He's got a lot on his plate at the moment, though, so
Just a
perhaps he
little.
isn't tuning in.
And did I hear a nomination for Better Man? Does that mean Robbie will be at the...
We also heard a nomination for Elton, didn't we? That was a bit of a surprise. Elton John's going to be hopefully
No
heading
stranger
over
to the Oscars, of course, Elton
No.
John. That'd be lovely, yeah, if he
So the award ceremony itself takes place when?
March the 2nd, but it will sort of be on TV over here on March the 3rd because it's overnight for us. But
And you'll
yeah,
be
thought-
representing Sky, will you?
We will
Katie?
be. We'll have to go and
Both
sort
of you.
our outfits out.
Go and get your glamorous dress ready.
Okay.
Trying to wrangle the celebrities.
Hopefully be more awake than the presenters were for the nominations there.
Well, we will release you to go and pore over these nominations and find that all-important dress for the awards. Thank you very much. Katie Gregory, Claire Gregory and Katie Spencer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
OK, some breaking news for you. Michal Martin has been elected as Ireland's new Prime Minister. This was in a parliamentary vote, and they voted 95 to 76 in support of that nomination for Michal Martin as the country's new Taoiseach. And elsewhere, this is in the weather. Breaking news, Stirling Council in Scotland says all schools and nurseries in Stirling will close from tomorrow. This is all to do with Ioan, the storm that's expected to really get ferocious Friday morning into the rest of the weekend. But shall we take a look at the weather? What is it saying at the moment? Well, today it's looking wetter and a bit windier than recently, while tomorrow, Storm Ioan, which we've been talking about extensively, will bring damaging winds. There'll be a danger to life. Red wind warnings, well, they've been issued for Ireland, Northern Ireland and central and southern Scotland tomorrow. So amber wind warnings will cover the rest of the north, with yellow wind warnings in the south. So pretty much the entire United Kingdom affected here. Other parts of the UK have yellow warnings for rain and snow. And before then, locally, heavy rain will spread across northern and eastern Britain this afternoon. Also expect some thundery downpours in the south and snow on northern hills. It's not looking good, is it? Elsewhere, there will be sunshine and blustery showers. It will feel a bit milder, but windier, with especially gusty conditions for parts of southern Britain. Now, Britain will see rain clearing a bit later, leaving a scattering of showers, which will become confined to the north by the evening. But dangerous storm Ioan will bring wet and very windy weather overnight, with snow and blizzards on northern hills for a time. Tomorrow, it's looking stormy, with damage and disruption likely, especially for Ireland and central parts of the UK. In the south, looks drier and less windy later. You're watching Sky News. Coming up at 2, we return to Liverpool Crown Court for full coverage of the sentencing of the Southport killer, as the call is due to BAP after taking a short break. Stay with Sky News.